Hello everybody, welcome back to, well, it's Retrospect still, but I'm switching over to be called Snacks Please for all my branding, but I haven't made assets for that yet, so Retrospect / Snacks Please. Today I'm doing a sketchbook tour of this Moleskine sketchbook that I have had for quite a while, but it's been finished for a while, and I've been meaning to film the tour of it. So it's a 5x8, I think roughly, Moleskine Watercolour paper sketchbook. And let's get going. So I started this in 2018. This says October 12th, 2018. And the first one, put it this way. This was a little watercolor sketch I did based off of, I think I was inspired by Ellie vs. Bear. A little messy, actually a lot messy. That's one thing that I struggle with my watercolor application. It gets very messy, but I think overall a very cute start to the sketchbook. I like the little moon face. And then I've got these two pages. This one, just experimenting with different textures. Really no rhyme or reason, just watercolor stuff. But this one I enjoyed a lot doing. I really had a big phase of doing these rocks with stripes on them. I like the little skull, and I'm trying to do different textures on leaves and stuff. This is still in the same month, October 13th. So yeah, keeping consistent so far. This was also October 13th. I tried to see, oh, snacks please. It's always been a phrase that I've liked. It's been my gamer tag on PlayStation for a while, and I was trying to make something cool. This is kind of ugly, but that's what sketchbooks are for. And then here is more delving into that exploration of rocks. I still really like these pages. I really like the depth of field in this one too. And then I was just experimenting with different colors and textures. Yep, and that's still in October 2018. Here's a fun one with, most of the stuff in the sketchbook is watercolor, I would say 90%. And I've been using the Coliro or the Finetech metallic watercolors in a lot of them because I really love the texture. And this has got pencil crayon worked in too. And here's another vertical one. This one is loosely inspired by Alison Bamcat. She does really awesome island does some awesome island illustrations with little plants and stuff growing out. She does a lot of amazing work, some of which are islands. She's a really talented surrealist painter / muralist. This one I tried a little too hard on, and I think it got away from me. Just the level of detail is samey all over, so there's not a lot of places for the eye to rest, and it feels a little too busy, but I like it. Here's another one of those little pattern pages. I really love doing pages like this. This one is maybe a little more successful. I don't know. They're both fun. I like the little paintbrush, and I was trying to do little marbles and stuff. And the bubbles. The bubbles are an obsession of mine too. I love painting the bubbles. I first started painting them in a Studio Ghibli inspired piece. And then I've just sort of been doing that ever since. This is still October 2018. Moderately successful so-and-so pie chart page. I like also adding in some different textures like the pencil in here. And the metallic watercolor, of course. This one I left unfinished for a while, and it's still not really finished, but I don't really like it. But it's just a page of some potions. Not that exciting. And another mediocre page of rainbows. I really like that sort of like drawerly style that a lot of people can do, but this one is only so-so in successful terms. And just some more abstract pages. This This one's fun. I mean, these you can obviously tell they're not planned, and I just sort of let them grow organically. I really like painting foliage and rocks with the little shiny lines on them. That I do a lot of those going forward. This is in November 2018. Yeah, these things, these are some of my favorite pages in this sketchbook. I love I've done a chunk of pieces that I sold through Gallery 88 of rocks like this. I really love them. Shimmering pebbles, I think I called them. It's so much fun. The directional lines are just so satisfying to paint. And then this is more in line with the bubbles, but these are like bubbly rocks, and I just love the rainbow colors. I really like the mixture of the watercolors I got here, and the blue outline has been something that I've carried through a lot of this. Here's another one, more just studies. This one's pretty good too. These ones got a little too muddy, a little too messy, but still some of my favorite sketchbook pages from this one. Then I was experimenting with adding in some of the pebble lines, and another all over pattern page. I mean, there's not too much to say, just sort of, they're fun to paint and they're satisfying to look at, so enjoyable to do. Ooh, and this one I was kind of experimenting. I had just gotten the Schminke, what's it called, metallic pigments. So you can see it's kind of like a bit messy here, and it rubbed off here. Some of the pigment, I think I just like blobbed it down and then tried to turn this into a composition afterwards. But they're fun. They're just a little bit more work to use. And they kind of, like both glittery and metallic pigments kind of get everywhere unless you have a dedicated water cup for them. So this one I also used the same water cup. I think they were done, yeah, both like, well, something's funky here. This is Tuesday, November 27th, 2018, and this is Tuesday, November 28th, 2018. So probably this is Wednesday. Anyways. A little space page. Another thing that I also really like working on, space-themed compositions. I think I was inspired by an artist. Her name may be Subini. I'm not sure. This was just like trying out a style, so these are not my ideas here. Not that sketchbooks are necessarily all my ideas. I do a lot of like copying of people's work in my sketchbooks just to try out the techniques. This is a little typography piece I just drew out, Swish and Flick from Harry Potter. I think I traced it beforehand from font, or maybe I just drew it freehand. Honestly, I can't remember. And I didn't write the date on this, but I think it was sometime between, like it was still pretty consistent that I was working in my sketchbook. This one is Thursday, December 13th, so somewhere between December and November I did this. I used some glittery nail polish on here, which I actually do like the texture of. It's like a chunky rose gold glitter. And I like the sort of more contained abstract compositions. This one I really like too. This is the Schminke stuff again, and then I've just scribbled some pencil over. And I think the pencil always gives a nice extra bit of texture. This one less successful, a little too hectic and busy, but I glued on some holly leaves from like a glittery garland that we had. This is some tiny dark blue glitter. My lighting's not super consistent for the setup, and I apologize. India ink and another space scene. I do revisit a lot of imagery and techniques in this sketchbook, but that's what they're for. Yep. This page sucks, I have written, but just going through, I was using some neon Prismacolor pencil crayons that I had just gotten, so they were fun to add in, and lots of watercolor and lots of pencil crayon. This one I was trying to make like a little nice typography message. This is in March now, so I've jumped ahead quite a lot from March 2019. I don't know when I did this one. I posted this to Instagram, but then later all the pencil crayon stuff sort of transferred over from this side to this side, so it didn't end up looking, doesn't look so great right now. If I were more particular about that, I would spray working fixative or workable fixative on these pages, and that just it's like a setting spray for your pencil and charcoal and stuff, so that they don't transfer onto your fingers. And the term workable means that you can go back in and draw over it. So they're really useful. It's just that I don't want to be hauling out spray like aerosol cans at my desk in my house to work. So kind of have to go to a better ventilated area for that. So too lazy to do that. Oh, experimenting with some extremely full coverage. We've got metallic watercolor, we've got probably some regular gouache, we've got pencil crayons, probably Prismacolor, Posca markers. Like, I just went to town on this page. This one as well. I mean, I'm not saying that they're like my favorite art pieces, but they're fun to do. I don't love how they look, but whatever. Just some experimentation here. I think this is Sibylline M. I think I was trying to imitate the way she drew painted hair and stuff, and obviously I did a very poor job of it. Not very good at that. This F I did one of the only ones for 2019's 36 Days of Type. And I went through a really big phase where I painted typography like this, which I really like. I used sort of this similar color palette, which is just my favorite watercolor shades, and sort of scribbled all over the letter. I think I still really like this. I also put some of that nail polish in here for some reason. I guess it was on my desk at the time. This page is unsuccessful. I don't know, I was trying something. I don't really like it. Trying again to do portraiture. I had an idea for this. This was the birth, I think, of that Head in the Clouds pin that I did. Yeah, so you've probably seen this on in my Etsy shop, or I've talked about it. This was a Kickstarter I did, but this was like where I started really working on the concept. Obviously I'm not very good at faces though. So I did that. I don't know. This is like, I'm usually not one to leave a page completely empty like this, but I did that. Trying some hair, I guess. This was for Furry Little Peaches Inktober in 2019, and the prompt was leaves. Just doing some experimentation with layering watercolor with pencil crayon, a look that I really love when it's done well. Same, this was number 8 I did on the 7th of October. This is pattern, so just more of those pattern stones. This is Sunshine, and I got into really doing like a juvenile aesthetic, and I don't think this page is super successful personally. I liked it at the time, but now I don't think I like it. This is Soda Pop, and I would be interested in revisiting this concept for a pin, but obviously much more simplified. And this is all blue acrylic ink in the background, so done with blue acrylic ink, and then watercolors and gouache, I think, in there. This one, this is Stars, and I like this one. I like how I got all the different multicolored stars. And then this is like a deep blue India ink that I mixed up. This one is Meh, and it's the theme was Grow. I think this is just Inktober and not Furry Little Peach. Oh no, the theme was books. I don't know, I've written books. I don't know. So. And then right here was when I got the Rower and Klingner watercolor inks that Heikala uses. So I was going through and trying to emulate a lot of her application here. And this is when I really got into greenery before, but I doubled down on it. This was for Furry Little Peach Inktober Day 17 Bird. And I like this one. Kind of messy and unpolished, but Bird. And then this was Clover, and I've done some Clover, or maybe I just called it Clover. I don't know. I still have trouble doing compositions like this. I feel like it's not fully resolved and I'm not 100% pleased with it. But more experimentation. This is when I'm just looking and taking inspiration from other artists. I didn't write who they were here, so I'm not sure who I was drawing inspiration from. Obviously working through some stuff. Practice makes less bad is true. I really like the bright blue pencil crayon outlines I did here. I don't know who this was inspired by. I've gotten in the habit lately of writing inspired by so-and-so, but I didn't here, so I can't remember. These were some more little vignettes and studies. I'm never gonna not love doing these rocks, I think. They're just so much fun. And again, this is the Rohrer and Klingner inks. They're fun to use. Oh, this is Studies of Heikkila. Okay. So these are studies of bits from Heikkila's. I don't think this was. The Rohrer and Klingner inks are fun to use, but they do dry out, so you can't just pick them up like you can with your watercolor palette. You have to like apply them to a palette from the bottle. I don't know what this is, but I went to town with the gold outlines. Oh, this one I like. I mixed up some blue India ink with black India ink, or acrylic ink rather, and I got out my, this thing. My friend gave me this merino glass, what are these called? Nib holders? Pen nib holders with a fountain pen kind of thing. The fountain pen tip. I'm losing my words today. Anyways, it creates really precise lines and is really pretty. So I use that to do these. And I'm happy with the way this came out. I don't think it's super impactful or exciting, but it's sort of just like a subtle, quiet little page in my book. This is definitely inspired by Lee Alexson. Yep. This one was getting close to being inspired by her. Like some of these motifs are stuff that I've seen her do. I was experimenting with my Irot color dictionary pencil crayon books. And this one, again, I actually really like this page. I like the busyness of it. And something Lee Alexson does really well that I was trying to capture is the like loose, sketchy, painterly, drawerly feel. The haphazard lines that just sort of come together magically. So I was experimenting with that here. Obviously no one can do Lee Alexson better than she herself, but I was experimenting. More Lee Alexson here. And I think these pages turned out really beautifully, but I can't say that I take full ownership of them because they were extremely inspired by her. But hopefully I can take a bit of the practice of doing this and apply it to my own art style. That's really why I do stuff like this, so that I can learn and then adapt it for myself. Not steal. Yeah, I like little sprigs of stuff that she always adds. And then I was getting into imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and I was copying Cheyenne Barton. Pretty much like verbatim copying as well. This one I don't know what I was doing. Maybe a bit of both, but yeah, she did like a draw with me thing, video, so I was just drawing with her. She definitely makes it look a lot easier, and I have such trouble with faces, so imitating the way she draws faces is good, but I still feel like I haven't found a good way for me to draw faces. But another fun page to draw. Testing out the way my Rohrer and Klingner inks layer over each other. Yep, and then I decided to paint some weird grass. That is meh. This is October 30th, 2019. Oh, I like these pages. These are nice. Some little compositions. They were inspired by another artist very loosely because it's really hard to take so much inspiration in abstract stuff from another artist because for me, my hands don't readily copy their abstract motions. My hands want to just do what they always do, so I find myself making the same scribbly gestures or brushstroke marks every time I do abstract painting. So I feel like everybody's abstract approach has like their own thumbprint to it, if that makes sense. This one artist that I was taking inspiration from would do little houses and stuff in these big landscape settings, and that's what I was trying to do. And I think they came out nicely. I mean, not as tight as the other artist does, but just sort of evidence of loose experimentation. The colors did get a little muddy here. I think this was when a lot of them were drying out and I was just trying to like use up the last bits of color in the palette. This one is, yeah, these ones were fun too. This one I like a lot. This one's a bit too loose. Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, so then these ones I was experimenting with tightening them up a lot more. And Lee Ellickson, I think, again, with these awesome little stars I was inspired by. This one I spent a good amount of time on, to middling success. And I had just gotten my second color palette by Coliro, which had more than just the gold metallic watercolors. It has like this pink, these two pinks, and it has a couple others in it. Stolen Tidbits. Yeah. So this is Ellie versus Bear, this is Alison Bamcat, this is Cleonique, and this is, I think, oh, I stole more from her, and I don't remember where oh, it's probably in my next sketchbook. Katie the Golden, or something like that. So this was November 2019, and yep, just trying to practice my watercolor technique. This page I just took my Pentel pocket brush, which I have. Why can't I find it? Yeah, this guy. And it's got a nice tapered tip, and I just went to town on the page. It's actually a pretty fun page, but I wouldn't say I wanted to fill a whole sketchbook with pages like this because that would get boring for me personally. But I did it again with colored paints as well. Unsuccessful, very unsuccessful, lazy attempt to do more of my bubbles. I just wasn't feeling it. But then, if you want lazy, these pages are very lazy. It's kind of a shitty way to end a sketchbook with this crap, but that's how I did it. I finished it November 2019. So actually, I did do this fairly quickly for me. 2018 to 2019, so about a year's worth of sketching there. And then after I finished this sketchbook, I ordered one that was much bigger, and I've been working on that, though a lot more intermittently. And I revisited this Field Artist sketchbook. I think this is the second one I have, and this one I've been going at since 2018, February 2018, and I'm almost finished. I've got this much left. I've done all these, so I'll do a sketchbook tour of this later. Okay, so that's my little sketchbook tour, a little longer than I thought it would be, but thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!